Let's pray. May the words of my lips and the meditations of all our hearts be now and always acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Today I'm going to preach on the last half verse of our reading. If you want to know more about shepherds of various descriptions, then please do listen to Leslie's sermon at evening prayer last Sunday, either as well as or instead of this one. So, life in all its fullness. What a time to be talking about that. What's your reaction been to the current situation? There are going to have been lots of different reactions. There are people who are feeling the restrictions, who can't go out. I've heard one person describe themselves as being under some form of house arrest. There are those whose jobs will have been furloughed or who've been made redundant, who are struggling to deal with universal credit. There are those who live alone, and there are those who have no access to much technology other than perhaps a telephone. On the other hand, others have been discovering a whole new form of life. There are those who are helping in so many different ways, either with the local initiative. I know of somebody who's driving NHS supplies on their motorbike. There's opportunity as well as suffering. There are also people who are finding more or new meaning in their lives. And I'll admit that to a certain extent, I'm one of those. In the past 6 weeks, I haven't done very much safeguarding work, as those of you who get emails from me will know. I have spent most of my time preparing services, preparing sermons, talking to people. The kind of work that vicars did 50 years ago. Somehow things have changed over that past 50 years. And yet, however we're finding it at present, 90% of us say that we don't want to go back to the way it was. And for me, that suggests that a large number of us did not have what we considered life in all its fullness. That isn't what Jesus was talking about. If you're going to be like that, why don't you take over? I'm off. Well, I suppose I'd better take over then. There is a view from the Stoics that we cannot change the events around us, but we can change our reaction to those events. And some elements of that have been taken into Christianity. It rather depends on your theology about God's intervention. But for many of us, God does not promise an easy life if you become a Christian. He doesn't promise that you won't suffer. What he does promise is that he will be with you all the way, and that as a result of that, it will feel worthwhile. Let me give you a couple of contrasting examples looking at what he said and what I've just been saying. So take my family. When my parents got married, they had no dining room table. They ate off a tea chest. When I got married, I had a second-hand dining room table, but I don't mean antique. When my children got married, they had a new dining room table. And yet, did we have any different life in all its abundance than any of the others? Take another example. Let's look at The Good Life. Some of you will remember that sitcom from the early 70s, where two couples lived next door to each other. One of them was made redundant and decided to turn his garden into a large vegetable patch and become self-sufficient. His neighbour carried on working in his job. For those who remember the series, you will remember that the couple who went self-sufficient also had a joie de vivre about them, which the one who was working didn't have. I am not suggesting that the answer is for all of us to give up and start growing vegetables in our garden. But I am suggesting that it is our attitude towards the circumstances we find ourselves in that makes a difference. So how do we find life in all its fullness? Jesus gave us the two great commandments. Love God with everything you've got and love your neighbour as yourself. It is perhaps a commonplace, at least in clergy circles, that to love others as you love yourself, you have also to love yourself. And from that leads love of neighbour and love of God. We can do that in our communities. And very often I find that it is community life which brings that life in all its fullness. It is not worrying about ourselves. It is thinking about others and trusting God. We do not have to get through this alone. We only have to get through it together and with God. And we can do that, loving God, loving our neighbour, in the martini moment, anytime, any place, anywhere. And by doing that, we might just discover life in all its fullness. Amen.